Well, everywhere is war. Miss a war. War in the east. War in the west. War up north. War down south. War, war. Rumors of a war.
Psalm chapter 2, verses 2 through 3. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Matthew chapter 24, verses 1 through 6. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. On the heels of the much anticipated eclipse which appeared on April 8, 2024, the world braces itself for what appears to be the beginnings of a third world war. A war that theological scholars believe may have been predicted in Scripture, and a war which may lead to the final fulfillment of other amazing end-times prophecies. In the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 4, the Messiah is recorded to say that it is a wicked and adulterous generation that seeks after a sign, implying that a faithless generation would be unwilling to believe without scholarly proof and academically approved receipts. He also said that no sign would be given it except the sign of Jonah. Perhaps in his Jeremiah 29 and 11 will that this generation will not perish. He will miraculously redirect a number of those who flee from his will, like he did for the prophet Jonah. One thing is certain. Out of his grace and mercy, he has revealed the meaning of many signs that reveal the devices of the enemy in these end times. Repent, be watchful, and pray without seeking. Many of these signs do indeed signify war, and one that may transcend from global to what we will be told is cosmic. That is, if the signs and symbols of the powers that be give us any clear indication.
All right, much like they say on NFL draft night, Detroit is on the clock.
Hundreds of thousands of people expected to descend on downtown Detroit for all the fun and excitement. The city readying to try to capitalize on what will be international media attention. Our business editor, Rob Maloney, live downtown with more on. We just keep learning more and more about what those 3 days are going to be like, Rob.
It's going to be a great time, Devin, no doubt about it. We're ground zero. This is ground zero. This is ground zero. This is the cover of the street light that they took out this morning. Got a whole bunch of those out. Come down here. The security's getting ready to close the gate here, so we're going to get one last quick look at what is going to be ground zero. This giant space right here is where the players will be up, where the commissioner's going to get booed, where the players will be announced to their team. We're going to hear from all of the great legends. Giant space right here is where the players will be up, where the commissioner's going to get booed, where the players will be announced to their team. We're going to hear from all of the great legends. They started taking down street lights. They've taken construction material delivery, and the heavy equipment is here. Drone 4 shows us the Campus Martius footprint, Campus Martius footprint, Campus Martius footprint about to close.
Drone shots of all these new skyscrapers plus all the cranes building around the city, that's going to change that perception. And again, when you see that beautiful Detroit River, pure Michigan water, people are going to think, is this the Caribbean? No, this is Detroit, this is Michigan, and this is our city.
Mayor Mike Duggan's brother Dan is a major draftnik, attending them for years. He's helping the mayor with what other cities did right and wrong, and advised, along with others, the city to hold the draft downtown and not on Belle Isle.
Let's make sure when a 250,000 or 500,000 or whatever number of people come here that they think about, hey, I'd like to go back. Maybe I'd like to work there and live there. And oh, by the way, if nothing else, Detroit's not that black eye that I heard about from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It really is a world-class city.
Now, one of the things they're stressing is this event is free for everybody, okay? One of the things they want you to do is to get the NFL One Pass. In fact, I have it right here on my phone, although I'll be honest, I haven't been able to get it to work, but I think it's probably more user error than the app itself. But that's where you get the QR code to get into the free events, and they say get there early when the time comes, but they say everybody can come downtown and enjoy a great time. Okay, so they're starting here, all right, in Campus Martius, but it's going to go all the way down to Hart Plaza.
We've got this article up right now. It details the transportation information, the entry requirements, everything that you're going to see in Campus Martius, Hart Plaza, along the riverfront. Just search NFL Draft in the search bar.
That's just the tip of this iceberg. Read! Read!
How
There is no god of war. There are, however, spirits that influence and inspire men to war. Though controversial, the Book of Enoch may give us specific clues that confirm the theory that there is a spirit of war. Some theorize that this spirit may have been Azazel. We can say for sure that this spirit seems to appear in the occult and pagan mythologies of various ancient cultures. Researchers identify the presence of this spirit, presented as slightly different forms and names, within the folklore and myths of the world's most influential empires. The powers that be mock and attempt to replicate the success of these empires. They follow the secret mysteries of old Egypt, known as Kemet. They duplicate the attitude and blueprint of Nimrod of Babylon. They revere the dark arts learned by Solomon of Israel, which are preserved within his lesser and greater keys. And they replicate the self-aggrandizing decadence of Rome, which developed from the ancient Grecian attempts to recreate the Egyptian kingdom that taught them Luxor, luxury, and civilization, so-called. But they also follow the stars. This is because they honor the practice of astrology, and this form of witchcraft is also incorporated as a twisted, blasphemous inversion of the meaning of the three magi who are said to have followed the star to find the birth of the Messiah. They also follow the stars because of an understanding that they secretly share concerning these heavenly bodies. They believe them to be indicators of the fallen. They believe that the fallen function like gods of this world, appointed by their leader, known to them as Lucifer. They reason that in order to gain power, riches, and influence in this world, the wise man aligns himself with the beings that they think can give them those things. They use the conjuring secrets of ancient Babylon, Egypt, King Solomon, and the modern interpretations of these secrets as deciphered by initiated occultists like Aleister Crowley and Madame Helena Blavatsky. The use of these secrets allows them to control each industry and area of influence, systemically. All of the employees involved in an industry are not aware of this occult power, but those at the very top must be. This is to ensure that whatever event or trend that naturally or inorganically happens within a particular area of influence can be redirected and steered in a direction that benefits the Luciferian agenda. This includes war. War is big business. Most people know that the largest portion of most influential world government spending goes towards the business of war. The big business of waging war, or defending against those who wage war, is arguably one of the ways that man proves himself unable to love his neighbor as himself. Or perhaps the powers that be, being willing to do the bidding of these beings, have effectively sown seeds of not only apathy, but self-hate into the minds and hearts of the whole human family. So when the powers that be, these secret oath-taking occultists in Tom Ford suits and ties wage war, they are sacrificing countless sons, and nowadays daughters, to their so-called god of war, or rather, the spirit of war that they conjure to assist them in their efforts. This spirit can be called up by any number of its names, but historically, the spirit is conjured most often in the form of the Roman version, Mars, and this conjuring seems to most often take place during the season of Aries, according to their astrological beliefs. It's also worth noting that within this astrological belief is also the idea of the cusp. The cusp is seen as useful to conjurers in search of double the trouble. In other words, they believe that one spirit is passing its dominion over the season to the next spirit in line, according to the sequence of the zodiac chart. Astrologers say people who are born during the cusp are imbued with traits from two zodiac spirits, the one coming in and the one going out. The Luciferians in charge perform rituals that require twice the demonic power during this time. The cusp of the first two zodiac entities, called Aries and Taurus, represents the fusing of the powers of the sun, god of war, and moon goddess of fertility. This alleged cosmic sexual energy will produce the divine child or divine children, represented by the twins, who are astrologically called Gemini, as expressed in James 1:8, which is the third zodiac sign. This cusp is also expressed as the joining together of Isis and Osiris, and therefore, this particular cusp is considered an important and explosive time that the elite usually take advantage of to blow things up.
Baby